Hall of Famer Tim Bradley was saying recently that he feels like Tank Davis is a Hall of Famer. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be a pretty honest breakdown for me. But with him saying that statement, you know, it is what it is. It's his opinion. But a lot of people said that recently they feel like Tank Davis is a Hall of Famer. Or you know, he's in that position. But with me, I'm trying to compare him to guys who are like borderline, not Hall of Fame. And that's Marcos Maidana in my eyes. So with Maidana, with the fights he's had in his career, and just a couple of victories that he had, and the fights he had in his career, the fact that this even is a conversation with him and Tank Davis, that it can actually be a real conversation, it's not good. Because people try to take names that we know or that they know and say, oh, well, this is why his resume is this, this, and this. No. What's old boy? Mario Barrios is not doing anything with Maidana. Ugas ain't doing nothing with Maidana. And people will say, well, that was two different weight classes. No. Barrios fights at 47. He was at 40 when Tank fought him. Adrian Broner went from 35 to 47 to fight Marcos Maidana. So conversation over with that. But like I was saying, Marcos Maidana, he retired at 30, like around 30 something. It was like early 30s, like around 30 or 30. Like around 30, he retired. So the age Tank is right now, around that time, Maidana retired around this time. So you can compare these guys very well, to be honest with you. And what win on Tank's resume would you put on the same level as the win that Maidana has over Adrian Broner? Let's go there first. What win would you put in there? You're gonna put the win over Ryan? Everybody been beating Ryan recently. It looks like everybody can beat Ryan. That's not a good win. They said Barrios, I just told you. Barrios ain't doing nothing with Maidana or Ugas ain't doing nothing with him. And that's really the win that everybody kind of hangs their hat on with Barrios. So, like I said, those guys wouldn't get in before Maidana. Let's be real. In the Hall of Fame, they wouldn't. Not right now. So, yeah, you got Ryan Garcia. Who else you got with Tank? You got Rolly. Okay, Rolly beat Ryan, but he looked worse. He looked terrible in every other fight, though. You see what I'm saying? They having guys beat other guys that Tank fight. All the guys that Tank fought fighting each other. And these dudes, and they was all at 135 recently. Now they fighting each other at 147. Like, bro, let's be real. These dudes are setting up to fight each other like a round robin or some crap. Because one guy fighting the other, then the other guy fighting. They all fighting each other. Everybody else ain't getting no opportunities. Bro, that don't count for me, bro. I know boxing too well. That doesn't count for me. You got everybody else in one little circle fighting each other. Of course this man's resume is going to look good. Because you have people that's, if one guy has a belt and the other going to get the belt because they fight each other, and that guy, and that guy, and that guy. But outside of that circle, who they fight? Hector Luis Garcia fought Roach, ain't fought again. Frank Martin, he's going to come up with a fight soon. Ryan Garcia, inactive. Hector Garcia, inactive. Pitbull, we already know what he's doing. But Pitbull was a replacement, though. Come on, man. You can't hang your hat on a replacement. When and Pitbull was a replacement for Rolly. How your replacement better than... That's not a good look, brother. Your replacement being better than your original fight is not a good look. Your replacement, your late replacement knocking out your number one option is not a good look. Rolly was supposed to fight him before he fought Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz ended up knocking out Rolly. So the best name you got for real is Isaac Cruz. And he lost to Rayo. If you want to be 100 about it. That's the best one you got on your resume, because people saying Rolly got a good resume. Okay, well, Pitbull just stopped him last year. 12 rounds with a Gamboa on one leg. Leo Santa Cruz, who hasn't even weighed in over 130 yet in his career, got knocked out at 129. Never really fought any big punchers anyway. Yeah, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. Now you got Fonseca and all that. Come on, man. Anybody else have Fonseca and Walsh on their resume, people will be like, who? That's equivalent of a Indongo or when people said Gamboa back in the day. Who was that? That dude was small. He wasn't even good. So these names right here, what did Liam Walsh do after he fought? Pedraza, okay, but he has a lot of losses now, so. If Devin Haney had a record like that, people would say he's a bum. I'm just being real. I ain't that type of channel. I'm keeping it real. If Devin Haney had a resume like Pedraza, people say he a bum. But we're gonna let Tank have that one. Yeah, bro. I ain't even gotta look through this, bro. He ain't got nothing on his resume that's better than Adrian Bronner versus Maidana. And then a lot of the fans, most of the fans, not me, but most of the fans who say they really know boxing, they thought Maidana won the first fight between Floyd. So Tank ain't got nothing on his resume close to that. Nothing. Going 12 rounds with Isaac Cruz doesn't do that. Going 12 rounds with Lamont Roach is not the same as beating Adrian Bronner, who was on fire around that time. Adrian Bronner dropped up from 135 to 147 in 1 year and fought Marcos Maidana. The same year. And you got guys that's in the Hall of Fame that just got in the Hall of Fame that didn't fight Maidana. The same Maidana that everybody said was destroying Floyd and everybody and Adrian Bronner. None of those guys that got in the Hall of Fame, Pacquiao didn't fight Maidana. Canelo didn't fight Maidana. So Broner, if it went for Broner, y'all probably wouldn't even know who Maidana was. So you telling me he ain't got a better career than what Tank Davis has had so far? All right. That what's up.